we've got Mr. Tim Adams of Athletics Weekly, the #1 athletics magazine in the world or country.
I think it's in the world, to be fair. I'm definitely sure it's in the UK, but I'm pretty sure it's in the world. So don't quote me on that. But
either way, a monumental guest to have on the podcast. Thank you for coming on. So unfortunately, Tim couldn't come to the live podcast, so we're pre-recording this the night before. I hear you're interviewing an Olympian tomorrow.
Yeah, I'm chatting with, she's called Ely Doyle. She was a Scottish athlete, and she's, been at Olympics before. She was part of the GB squad in Rio 2016. And, we're chatting with her for the magazine. The hurdles are going to be crazy. As we're recording this, like last night, the world record got smashed by some Norwegian guys nicknamed the Viking, a guy called Carsten Warholm. And tomorrow night, well, as in yesterday when this is going out, the world record would have probably gone by the time this actually goes out, again in the women's one. So, she was part of the hurdles. We're looking to get kind of her analysis of those two races, and I'm 100% sure that, it's going to be another manic race. But yeah, it should be pretty cool. Was chatting with Keely Hodgkinson, who won the silver medal for Great Britain in the 800 metres earlier today, and I was chatting with her before the Olympics. So, we get around, I'll say that.
Looking at your portfolio, you've interviewed some absolutely insane athletes, and during the course of this Olympics, you're witnessing these historical moments and interviewing the people who are at the peak of human physical fitness. Amazing. So one historic moment that stood out to me was the 100-meter world record by the Italian Lamont Marcel in just 9.69 seconds. It might just be me, but I thought Usain Bolt's world record was gonna stand the test of time. I thought it was gonna last a lot longer.
To be fair, man, I'll say this. So Bolt's world record is still standing, but what he did, he broke the European record.
It's European record.
But that's still mad. I mean, so the guy who had the European record is a guy called Jimmy Vico, a French guy who set it in like 2003. But again, that's longer than Bolt's world record. That's like 5 years longer. So the fact that the European record, he's the first European guy to win 100 metres, you're looking at 20, 30 years. It's crazy. It's mad. So, I'm sure that, the Italians, what are some of they've had? Eurovision, the Euros, the 100-metre winner, and it's
OVR. And OVR, it's an Italian company. They're absolutely smashing it at the moment, hitting all kinds of records. So these are huge historic moments, and like the premise of this podcast is whether we can etch these monumental moments into the Metaverse. So I haven't really explained the Metaverse. I wouldn't expect you to know much about it. It's all very new. So in a brief summary, is that it's a digital upgrade to the real world, which allows you to tie digital objects like 3D animations and eventually video games to real world locations. So you can meet life-size models of your heroes. So we can make animated or even record certain events like the weightlifting or Le Mans Marcel's or even Usain Bolt's record, and you can place it into the digital metaverse and and then write about how amazing this feat was, and you can show people in that location or any other location around the world depending on where you place it, whether it's in a museum or in the actual physical location. You can show them exactly what that human did in that area, and actually physically show people, as opposed to just looking at through a camera. You can tie it to the land. What are your thoughts on that? Does it sound surreal or?
It sounds like something of Avatar, to be honest. It's kind of like you see it in the movies. You don't really think it's going to be in real life, but at the end of the day, if you think about the 22nd century, the 23rd century, it's the kind of thing which you'd expect to be created then. So it's going to have to be created at some point. And why not now? I guess there are baby steps, with it, but in 20 years' time, it could be massive. Even in 2 years' time, it could be massive. I mean, you look at the inventions over the past, 20 years, which are done brilliantly, and at times getting off the ground was a bit tough, but the idea is the idea, and if the idea is good enough, then no matter how many hurdles, ironically hurdles, you're going to step over, you can actually go with that idea, and the idea will sell regardless of how many mishaps or how many hurdles you have along the way. And I think it's an amazing thing, to be honest. I think it'd be surreal for a lot of people. Obviously, it would take time for them to kind of realise that it's actually a thing. But if people, I remember you showed me a few things, when you could look at it through a camera, and that was mad. I mean, we're going to get into video game territory in real life, but then, you're almost kind of breaking down the barriers of digital to reality, and that's pretty cool.
Skateboarding's just got into the Olympics. Fantastic, absolutely smashed it. Load of teenage have won the women's. But skateboarding is inherently a street sport. It was brought up in the swimming pools. It's brought up in the streets of LA, and down all these side roads and the rails and the skate parks. One thing that this technology can do is you can record those street moments and show them in that exact location for other people to see. So you go to your local skate park, and you go to a skate park that Tony Hawk did, the 1600 degree spin. It was absolutely insane at the time. You go there and you can watch that happen in real time. If we could get it, unfortunately with Tony Hawk, we don't have the facilities to.
I don't think you have the facilities for that, big man.
To capture the full 3D video, but eventually it will be. So with the early ones, it will be sort of animated or videos of with past relics. But soon, we should, with the new iPhone LiDAR system on the iPhone 12. I don't know whether it's specifically on this, whether you can do it in video, but you can at least take photos and map out the terrain. So you will be able to map it out, make a digital version, and then place it, and then show the actual tricks and all this sort of insane feats of athleticism being done, and it just gets replayed over and over and just stays in that location, and it's just I can just see it being a fantastic addition to
that sounds so cool. I think the skateboarding especially, we're moving with the times within either tech or just sports. And, we're talking about the Olympics, and, you look at these new sports at the Olympics, the people actually taking part are they're so young. 13-year-old won the skateboarding. It's crazy. And at the end of the day, this is kind of the next gen, that they're growing up with these, this technology. And they're going to be the ones which thinks, it's going to be easy for them. When they're using this tech, and that collab between the tech side and the sports side is going to be great. And obviously, if you can have the people winning the gold medals at the Olympics, then actually, being the mouthpiece for that tech and actually for these ideas, then again, talk about breaking down barriers. I mean, you're going to be smashing them with a hammer. I mean, it's going to be pretty cool if you can get people who have been involved in the Olympics, actually helping out, with marketing and actually showcasing it. And again, I think that would be quite easy. If you actually, the skateboarding, that sounds so cool. Again, because it's just, you're kind of creating that video game idea, that aspect, but again, it's surreal thinking about it.